Couple of minutes of technical issues, but we gotta love technology. It's helping us connect. Today's challenge is all about trust, and we have been trusting the universe to make this connection happen. And as part of today's challenge, we're going to be talking about what it means to ask for help and how we can support each other when we ask for help. And I have the best guest to talk about asking for help and trusting, fellow Lightworker and transformational coach Michelle Cordy.
Hi, Stella. I'm doing well. And yourself? I think I trust in you sometimes more than the universe because stepping me through the technology issues. Jeez, oh please. Why can't it? It goes to show, like, why can't anything be easy in life, and that we have to accept the challenges as they come. So you never know. It is, and it's all about building trust with people. That's what I'm for. Is like you can't have conversations with people unless you build trust. Mhm. It does, and that's the thing is just like don't be scared because if you resonate with somebody, just like you and I resonated. Good example. You would message me. I remember exactly what you said, and it started on a conversation. And when you open yourself up to someone who you can trust and can be vulnerable with, that it just opens up so many avenues. And we've gotten to know each other within the last, I can't remember the time's flying, but I mean, you're a soul sister of mine, and I just love and appreciate you so much. And just like you never know what doors will open for you when you ask for help. Right. Exactly. And I always say this, people probably get tired of me saying this, but people are messengers. When we have prayers and the universe sends us people like ourselves to one another, we are helping one another. And it just and then you introducing me to your community and vice versa. People get to know you and they resonate with you, and it just causes the ripple effect. Yeah, when when you're totally feeling struggling, when you're struggling, you're feeling hopeless, and you feel like you can't go on, and you're in that deep depressive state, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. You just ask for the universe for guidance, and that's when the people come. And it's truly, I mean, it sounds silly, and it's not silly. It's truth. It is so true. It's just like when you open yourself up to the universe and ask for help, the universe will respond because you never know who the universe is going to send you. And lower. I had to lower my walls many years ago when I started doing my internal work, and it's just like there are people in the universe that can help you, Michelle. Do not allow yourself to go through what you're going through without asking for help. And it's just like, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the how we were taught, don't ask for help, or anything. It's just like, no, we need each other. Obviously, this is why the universe is meant to be with people. We are here to help one another. So the internal check-in is just like, if you're feeling helpless and you're struggling, that's your red flag for yourself. Like, it's okay to ask for help, and you never know who is going to come your way to help you.
Mm. Now, I've just gotten some feedback that my audio wasn't hearable. So,
Oh, I can hear you. Well, okay, I can hear you.
where we're jamming with one another, but
Okay.
um, I couldn't agree more. And I think there's this sense of overwhelmment that you just feel like the weight of the shoulder is on everywhere you go. It's just this cloud that's always with you. And that's the moment when you reach out to people and ask them. And it doesn't even have to be, I need help with this or that. It's just a conversation. Hey, can we talk? I just want to feel
Exactly.
like I am being seen, that, somebody can recognize that there's something else out there as well. It doesn't have to be just about that problem that you're facing. It could be, let's talk about the birds. Let's take a look in nature.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know you have a love for nature just like I do, but it's also I lost my train of thought. You were saying, oh, about being seen and heard. It's just like when somebody you resonate with, just for instance, you and I resonated with your content and I wanted to get to know you better. It's about, again, building a relationship,
Mm.
and like you said, we had a DM conversation and then we took it to Zoom. We've had several Zoom conversations before I've been on your podcast. So it's just like, wow. I love hearing about people's journeys, but also when you ask for help, there might just be a specified question you have for someone. And I don't be afraid to ask. And also be patient, because you never know what people are going through in their lives.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't check their DMs. Like I do. I might not get back to somebody right away, but I do check my DMs. And we're talking about LinkedIn because that's my social media platform I'm on.
Yeah. And there's something else as well, that sometimes when you're needing help, it doesn't even have to be reaching out to a specific person. You can just post content online and somebody will
Yes,
find you through that content and say, I relate to that. Hey, you're not alone. I'm feeling the same problem, burden, whatever it is.
very much so. Yes, because you can gauge what people, yes, I do that too. You can gauge by people's likes and reactions and or comments. And then also you can, I always, I'm a feeler, empath, and I can feel like people wanting more. And
Mhm.
I'll reach out to them and say, hey, I sense you're feeling this way, blah, blah, blah. Is there something that you need to talk about? And people are just like blown away, like, really, you taking the time to ask me? And it's just like, yes, people do want to help one another.
Mm. That's a good feeling. It restores your faith in humanity, doesn't it?
Very much so. Very much so.
Well, now that we've done the inner check-in, I think it's time for the next step, which is the outer check-in, which I think is where
Mhm,
a lot of people get blocked from proceeding forward. How can we
mhm.
determine the right person to ask for help, whether it's a friend, a colleague, a stranger? And I think this is where some people just feel even more alone because they realize they can't truly fully open up to some of the people in their inner circle, in their family, or at least they feel that sense of restriction.
Right. Yeah. Again, it goes back to building relationships. If I come to you and I ask for whatever, let's say help, some kind of help, I don't know, but just to say, if I'm not vibing with your energy, or if I'm getting red flags, or if I'm not feeling seen or heard with you, or I'm coming to you to ask for help, but you're telling me about all your issues or things
Mhm.
you've gone through, I want someone who's going to be an active listener, where I can be seen and heard and trusted. And that's, trust is huge for me. If I won't open up to somebody unless I trust them. And it's the inner knowingness, it's the gut feeling from within. And it's just like, only we can determine that for ourselves. It's not any external force. It's just like, yes, we're asking externally, but it's an inner knowing that, I do resonate with Stella saying, or I do resonate with Michelle, Or if somebody comes to me for help and I can't help them, I mean, I have a wonderful network of community I've built relationships with, and I'm very proud of my network that I have, because it's people like-minded like myself who I can trust and say, I'm sorry, I'm not the person that I can help you with, but here, I'm going to connect you with whomever.
Mhm.
And I know they would be able to, at least take the time to hear what you're going through. And maybe if they can't help them, it's the ripple effect again. It's the building relationships with people like, and trust.
I couldn't agree more. And I think we've just recognized two important points for the inner chicken and the outer chicken. Comes
Mm-hmm.
to the inner chicken, you have to be an active listener to what is happening inside of you. Number two, you have to be honest. Whatever it is that you feel, that you acknowledge, you have to be honest and face it. Go through the storm, as they say, because
Mm-hmm.
every storm happens so that we can move towards the sun, find the sun. But it usually happens with finding our inner sun. But the same applies to the outer chicken. We're trying to find people to support us on our journey as we're walking through these storms. Are they an active listener? And
Mm-hmm.
are they willing to be honest with us?
Right.
Because the feedback that helps us the most is the honest feedback. We don't want people to just tell us what we want to hear, because that's not help. That's
That's true.
illusions. That's leading us nowhere.
That is a great point, Stella. That is so true. Right. You need somebody who is going to be honest, but also I'm also like, I'm a big believer in tone, the way you deliver your honesty, because people, if I come to you and I trust and resonate with you, and you're just going to blast me for something like totally like that doesn't resonate with you, or it's coming from not from your perspective, that's going to put up more walls and red flags. And then people will, again, not ask for people. So watch the tone and delivery of how you give the honest feedback to people. I mean, I'm a highly sensitive empath. I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I have no problem sharing my emotions with people. And and I will, like, hey, I'll call somebody out. That didn't resonate with me. There's a better way that you can deliver your message. And also people need that feedback as well, because if, as we go along in life and helping other people, people also need to know one way may not work for another person. And people need to be cognizant of other people's emotions.
Yeah, empathy is big. I mean,
Exactly.
obviously, honesty is important, but if you can't be
Yes.
empathetic, you're gonna strike the person that's just being vulnerable and express their need for help. So,
Right.
right, empathy is important.
Mm-hmm.
Would a stranger give you more support than somebody who's been very familiar with your story? That's why the rise of coaches has been so prevalent in society. Or what do you think in the comparison between somebody that's known you your whole life and somebody that's just met you, that is able to kind of take that glimpse from a third point of view?
That's a great question, because as you know, we evolve. We're
Mhm.
not the same person that person, that we used to work with in another, I'll call past life, because it feels like a past life, um, or you went to high school with, or you used to, work together, or even work out together. I mean, people evolve and grow, and and that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be staying stuck and stagnant. So if I go to somebody and talk to them about, my growth and something, they'll be like, what, who are you? What,
Mm.
because they haven't seen my evolution that I've been on, because, I've been on a deep dive of transformational healing within the last 3+ years. And I am not the same person that I was. I really am proud of myself for the journey that I've been on. And it's someone like a stranger. I've built, again, so many people, met on so many like-minded people on LinkedIn. And it's a stranger who gets me for my authenticity, because when I started on this journey quite a while ago, it took me to lower my walls,
Mhm.
to talk,
Yeah.
to talk openly about my insecurities and my depression. And then people were listening, being the active listener that I needed. And it wasn't in the physical that I was, getting that kind of assistance. So sometimes it is the strangers that help
Mhm.
us more along the journey, and then the people in our daily, even our daily lives. And you know what? And that's okay, because everybody's not going to get us for who we are, because we keep evolving, because, as we keep evolving and somebody stays stuck and stagnant, we can't lower our vibrational frequency for them. We have to find a match for someone who's going to reach, rise up to them. And again, it's okay because everybody is on their different paths. It's just like you have to find the vibrational frequency of the people that are like-minded like yourself.
Yeah, and you showed it very beautifully when you're rising.
Yeah.
We say vibrational frequency,
Yeah.
we say we're leveling up, but it's quite
Yeah.
literally if somebody wanted to rise with you, you're
Mhm.
always going to want to reach a hand to them. But if they're lying to you almost that they want to grow with you because they're not doing the steps, they're not having the motivation, it's not coming from
Mhm.
within, they're going to
Mhm.
push you back down. And if you honoring your progress, if you're honoring yourself and your needs, at
Mhm.
some point you just can't allow that. And that's empathy for self.
Mhm. Yeah, that's self-love.
It's
That's
the
having
trust in self.
yeah, that's unconditional love for yourself, saying, I am worth it. I
Mm.
need to do this for me, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I deserve to experience that joy that is here, and that success
Right.
that is here, and that happiness that is here, and that health that
Mhm.
is here almost, because we both
Mhm.
know that when we're living in the lower vibrational kind of states and timelines, we're also
Mhm.
doing a lot of toxic habits. That's just, part of the experience because we're coping. We're trying to
Right.
survive. We're not thriving. We're not excited. We're not ecstatic. We're losing our energy constantly to
Mhm.
addictions and distractions. Whereas when we're leveling up here, we're just focused on that growth and we're so excited to just share and explode that joy with, share with the world.
Right. We're shining our light on, the darkness of the world. And that's what we need is if we keep needing to ascend into the higher consciousness.
Mm.
And, if people are not willing to go on the next journey or step with us, again, that's their choice because we're all on different paths.
Yeah.
We all have a soul mission, and we don't know what our soul missions are. It's internally it's an inner knowing, it's a feeling that we sometimes we can't even explain, but we know that we're
Mhm.
doing the right work.
Yeah, and the people that are aligned with that version
Right?
of ourselves,
Yes.
aligned with that vision for the future, they show
Mhm.
up. And I think this is a good
Exactly.
opportunity to say hi to Ben, who's joined us for the comment. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hi to David. Hi,
Hi, David.
David. And we have Natasha. We
Hi,
need each other.
Natasha.
We absolutely need each other. We need each other's most empathetic, most joyful self, which usually happens when we allow ourselves to grow and blossom. Oh,
Hmm. And speaking of growing and blossoming, those three wonderful souls that I've met. I mean, you just again, and of course yourself. It's just like you never know who you're going to meet,
mhm.
and that I mean, I haven't three people you mentioned yourself. I haven't met you guys in the physical yet, but I feel so aligned and so I don't know. There's people I know exactly who the three names you are. You don't even have to say their last names. It's just like it just means a lot. It's just like the support and encouragement that people give. I'm just proud of the relationships I've built.
It's a uplifting presence that you feel.
Really.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. I know. And we're all over the world. Literally, we're all over the world, all over the different countries and so forth too. It's beautiful. Such beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking for a person in your network, in your
Yeah.
environment to ask for feedback, look for
Hmm.
the people that have uplifting presence in your life, people that are always going to encourage you. Because usually, when we're looking for help, it's probably with something to do with us leaving the comfort zone. So it's something that we've never experienced before. So we're kind of overwhelmed. And these are the people that are going to push you, encourage you to dream bigger. They're always going to be like, I believe in you, whatever it is, I'm sure you can do it. You don't need
Right.
the doubt. The naysayers.
No. Yeah, and you could bring up a great point too. We all have talents and gifts and uniqueness.
Mhm.
I don't have all the answers, but someone else has talents and uniqueness that I need that I don't have. And just like, from I used to be passionate about marketing. It's no longer a passion of mine. But for instance, Natasha is, and that's her passion. So, I can lean on her for her gifts and uniqueness and so forth.
Mhm.
It's just like, again, building the relationships that help us align and level up.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And that
Hmm.
leads us to the last question, which is how do we actually find the right words to start a conversation that leads to, hey, I need help? Obviously, hey, I need help is the most straightforward path,
Hmm.
that communication, opening that communication line. But Are there other ways that, we can give the indication to others that we're struggling a little bit and we need somebody? Maybe just a word of encouragement doesn't even have to be the solution.
Right. Yeah. A couple of things come to mind because you had touched on, like, for instance, we ask for help during our content, and or we do a content with our post, and you can feel the people's vibes by their own comments, and then that's when I reach out. For instance, if someone sees our conversation right now and say, DM me and say, Michelle, you mentioned X. Can you elaborate further? Or, I really liked what you said about, it's just planting a seed with somebody and showing that you care, and not sharing your life story with somebody within, a DM, and ask them a specified question. What do you think about, have you experienced this? How would you go about? It's just little touches, and then people get, again, the feedback from being seen, heard, and then the person who is giving them information uplifts them because someone's coming to them because they've seen them in, whatever element, podcast, the content and so forth, and they feel uplifted because they have been through whatever you're asking about. And then you are expanding your energy because you're not staying stuck and stagnant. You actually ask for help, and that deserves a pat on the back, because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to plant the seed, as you say. You approach the person that you would like to seek advice from, but you don't start with, hey, I'm going through this shitstorm right now and I need your help. But you kind of plant the seed, hey, I saw that you did that. How did that work out for you? Can you give me some tips? Can you give me some advice?
Yes,
And
right.
obviously, you don't go beating around the bush for months without acknowledging that you need help. But it is a great
Mhm.
way to ask people for their expertise when you've acknowledged that they're expert at something that you're not yet, maybe, or that you've never even considered yourself being interested in.
Mhm. Yes, very true.
Yes, we have this very beautiful comment. We must each walk our own path. Remember this when receiving and giving advice. What is the right thing to do for one person may not be the right for another. Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we've got Alden's comment. The empathetic listener also has the choice to see what is not said. Leading with the emotions. Yes.
Much so. Yes. Yes. And don't allow someone's perspective to get the best of you because it's not something that you're wanting to hear. Again, it comes from, again, you said about the honest feedback. If you're asking somebody for advice, then, seek it, but you don't have to take it. We all have free will. But again, it's you asked for the feedback, but it may not be something you resonate with, but it could be a different perspective than what you're thinking, and you go, let me think about this, again, and I always say this, not every action needs a reaction, so
Mhm.
we always have choices on how to respond. Silence is golden, and we don't even have to respond. You can take the information, and it's yours to whatever proceed with.
Yeah. And it goes back to the second step of this exercise, the outer check in. If you know there are people in your life that you already know how they're going to respond, their feedback is probably not going to be helpful. It's not going to be the kind of assistance that you need, especially older generations. Sometimes they kind of don't evolve as fast as the younger generations, or friends that have gone through different life paths. So they don't have any experience with what you're going through. They will give you the feedback that is honest, that is, with the best intentions, but they cannot fully relate to your story. So you have to seek outside, which again is a step out of the comfort zone. But
Mhm.
if you've already acknowledged that you cannot trust a particular person with something that is very precious to you, honor that intuition as well. Trust your intuition.
Exactly right. Stepping out of my comfort zone has been something that I am super proud of myself, because I used to be stuck and stagnant and not asking for help or doing inner work or, building relationships with people. It's just like it opens up so many doors for oneself when that you take steps to move forward and stay, instead of staying stuck in that energy that's not serving you.
Mm. Yeah. And I'm being drawn back to that point about creating content from that pain point that you're experiencing. I think some of the
Mhm.
most successful business structures, they started because somebody had a problem and they wanted to solve it. Maybe it
Mhm.
wasn't something that they needed necessarily help with from a particular person, but a whole community. So they started that conversation. Hey, I need help with this. What are your ideas? What are your thoughts? Give me some feedback. Let's build something together. Sometimes a cry for help is not just about being seen and validated. It's also about what can we do about it? I'm sure that you're experiencing the same thing. What can we do about it? What can we create from it? How can we alchemize this pain into something that inspires others?
Very much true. Yeah, we never know what people are going through and what message they need to be hearing, and it might be coming from either one of us. We don't know.
Yeah. So I started this with a quote from Simon Sinek, and I'm going to end it with a quote from Simon Sinek. Asking for help is an act of service. Don't deny the people who love you the honor of being there to support you. I mean, that
Mm.
is that just sums it up.
I'm going to give that a heart love.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people can surprise us. I would like to retreat my statement that if you anticipate that one of your friends or family members are going to give you the feedback that you think they're going to give you, they might surprise you because, as you mentioned, we change in isolation. We evolve in isolation. We never change in front of other people. But when we appear in front of them, they can see the changes, especially these big changes that happen on a soul level.
Mhm.
And you never know how you opening up to somebody that you've known for a very long time will lead to the next level of your relationship, to the evolution of your relationship, because you've opened up about sharing a different part of yourself that you've always kept hidden, or maybe that you didn't even know was there, that you found during that transformation.
Yeah, and good point though. Some people see only our external transformation and not our internal transformation. So it takes a conversation to open up and start that.
Yeah. And sometimes we have a part to play in people's stories where we teach them things through opening up about our problems. Sometimes we enter the conversation thinking, I am the student. Can you be the teacher that guides me to the answer? But in the process of that conversation, the roles reverse because there's an opportunity for growth for
Mhm.
both people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like when I coach people, I'm always learning more about myself as well because it's things that I'm coaching and talking about that I've been through, and then a different perspective comes along or so forth. We're always learning and growing. That's how we
Mhm.
evolve.
We're simultaneously the student and the teacher. Doesn't matter what
Very
we're going through.
correct.
Yeah.
Very much.
I've really enjoyed this very impromptu. I'm twice on the screen. Just ignore that. What would be your advice to people that are trying to make the most of connecting with their trust or increasing their trust next year?
Trust your inner knowingness. You know you best, and don't let the external world, determine who you think you are. Again, it's just an inner knowing. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Go with it. But excuse me, if you're receiving red flags, step back and pause and go, is this the right step I need to be taking? Because like, gut intuition is highly intuitive.
Yeah. And this was the latest comment we received. Listen to your intuition. Like, listen to the intuition. And sometimes your intuition might say to you, don't trust that person with this right now. There's a reason. There are things that we don't know. But imagine if the person that you were trying to open up to is going through their own storm, so they cannot be there for you. But if you trusted them with something right now and they couldn't give you the attention, your path split. But what if your intuition said, just wait a month before you open up? And then they were in a better place and you could connect and walk forward together. There are so many invisible paths, so many invisible connections that we have no access to. So when our intuition say, hold on, just hold on
Trust
a
it.
little. Yeah, trust it. Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful conversation, Michelle. Thank you for your
As always,
insights.
as always, I appreciate you so much. You are just a wonderful light in the world, and I appreciate all your gifts and talents you share with everyone.
I couldn't agree more and send it back to you, whatever you just said. Yeah, that's kind of connecting with the light. We've connected through our light. And I think everyone that's joined and watched today, we've all connected through our light in one way or another, in whatever way that light was channeled. And it just changes the way that we talk about life. We talk about life with so much hope and faith and love. And we need that in the everyday conversations with the people around us. And unfortunately, sometimes they're going through these storms for years. So they never get to experience their own light, let alone, for us to exchange our light side by side. But that is why we're so spread around the world, so that we can share our light with them and kind of awaken it in them. And it
Mhm.
starts sometimes with asking for help, because maybe when we ask for help, those that haven't figured out quite yet what their light is, it is through helping us that they can find their light.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Michelle. Thank you everyone for watching, and
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
lovely,
Stella.
yeah, have a lovely festive season. And if you
Bye.
would like to join the big Christmas reset, there are 14, no, there's 12 more challenges, but if you want to make them 14, I'm sure I can come up with something around Christmas. uh, yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank
Have a lovely festive season.
you too. Bye.
Bye everyone.